In this video, we're gonna you guys, these are things that you may not have known in Shindo Life. So I'm gonna be just going over this video over everything that you could have possibly not known about this game. Now, there's a lot of really secret effects, there's a lot of really secret things in the game, or things that you may just never have came across because they don't really pertain to you at all. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, let's go right to the video, guys. Alright, so since this is everything that you do not know about Shindo Life, let's start off with the simples here. The ramen shop right in front of me. A lot of you guys probably don't even know this exists, especially if you're new to the game. So if you're actually new to the game, there's actually something called the Ramen Shop. Now, this Ramen Shop actually does make it so you regen your HP faster, and it's not just a little faster, it is significantly faster than normal, because I feel like the Ramen Shop was an intended feature for a really long time, and then people just don't use it anymore just because you don't really need to regen your HP a lot of the time, but it definitely does make your HP regen a lot faster, and some people do it before going into competitive, and it literally makes it so they have an entire extra HP bar. It's pretty insane. It's actually really good. A lot of people don't know it actually does this because they're like, oh cool, a ramen shop, I'm gonna sit down and eat, but they don't know what it actually does. So yeah, there you go. Some people also do not know this, but if you guys have the regular Akuma, and as you guys see, I am in the normal Ember Village, you want to go over to the building that looks like this. It's near the Kage office right here. And then you click on this, it says, do you wish to customize your samurai spirit? If you click accept, you can actually customize your samurai spirit. And as you guys can see, I got a beautiful pink monster right here, man. I actually think that this looks really nice. Basically, how you do it is you gotta randomize it. It costs one spin every time you randomize it. You can change your different weapons. You can actually change the ID, like the eyes of the Akuma itself. I'm pretty sure that was changed over. You can just change your eyes in general now. You don't need an Akuma for that, but you can actually customize your Susanoo and customize your Akuma eyes and things like that. So, you know, that's actually really cool. If you guys are actually a Akuma lover, just go for that. I mean, why not, right? Feel free to show me some of your really cool looking Akumas in the comments below or in my Discord. Now, another thing you guys might have not known, actually, when you go into the cheats menu here, there's actually a few things in the cheat menu that a lot of people do not know even exists in the game. So first of all, in miscellaneous purchase, you can actually change your chi color. Now, a lot of people ask me, oh, how'd you get that cool looking chi? This is the reason why. Here, look, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it on video. Let's see what beautiful color I get. If it's green, I'm gonna be sad because who wouldn't be sad from green? Oh my gosh, it happened. But you do actually have to buy it every time. Oh no, it's getting worse. It's getting worse every time I do it. All right, let's see what we got. I actually used to have pink. Oh no, it's actually getting worse every single time I do it. It's completely random. I've spent so much Robux trying to get like perfect pink before. It's legitimately, oh okay, that's fine. That's not really pink, it's more like purple, neon purplish, but dude, I'll take that. Oh my gosh, man. The only reason I got rid of the baby pink before is because when you gift someone the actual game pass, it actually changes yours. It doesn't change their color, so you know, that wasn't very cool. Now, while we're actually in the cheat menu here, you can't actually reset your mentor without Robux. You can actually use 25,000 Ro coins to reset your mentor. Now, if you guys don't know what mentors are actually something that when you reach S rank you can actually do. They're in different maps. I actually did a video over it, go check it out if you guys haven't. And pretty much they just give you passives that make it so your stats can actually go higher than normal. So that may actually be another thing that you guys didn't know. Mentors in the game. Hey you, yeah you, have you remembered to hit that like button on the video yet? If you haven't already, go ahead and do it. So another thing you guys might have not known is that you guys can bypass weapon global cooldowns. Now, this doesn't work for every weapon, but generally if you guys use the actual ability before the weapon spec, so let's say you use something like an auto dodge and then you use Shindai Prime Blade. The Shindai Prime Blade will not go on a global cooldown. This also works for some of the stun weapons as well, so like Riken Blade and things like that. But it doesn't work for things such as Ryan Blade. I don't know why. I don't know if they're different scripts or whatever, but sometimes you can bypass weapon global cooldowns entirely. Also, you know, this may be something that you guys already know, but people that use companions are actual losers. I mean, like, come on, man. Why are you using basically a companion in PvP? You're better than that. Motherfucker. I see you. I know you use companions. I can see you. Also, something that, you know, generally a lot of people may have forgotten, the game is actually permanently in ×2 EXP mode now. Yes, around a year ago, Games did an update where they did ×2 EXP, which everyone loved it, you know, because they could actually level up and things like that. But then they never removed it, and then they just removed it from the title. So it's no longer ×2 EXP anymore. That is just the normal EXP, but the game is technically permanently ×2 EXP. What? I just guys find it kind of funny because that stacked with the normal rail games like group, I'm sure you guys can imagine how much EXP you would actually get without the ×2 EXP stacked on each other. It would be really, really hard to level up. That's all I'm saying. Also, something you may have not known because you may already actually have the game passes, but game passes prices have actually risen quite a bit. So the Bloodline bag rose by 200 Robux. The ×2 Bloodline slot, it was already like 2,500, and then they raised it. I'm pretty sure it's like 3,000 now, so it would cost like $30 to get it. Dude, that's insane, by the way. I just want to put that out there. $30 for a game pass is kind of crazy. But with these actual game passes, almost all the prices have actually risen since what they were before, and you know, it does make it generally a little bit harder to access, but you guys may have not known that. Also, something else you may not have known, bosses, you know how they can't be stunned. I'm sure everyone here has fought a boss before. You know how they can't be stunned? They can be moved. So if you use something like Ryan Red's second, you can actually fling them off the entire map, which is pretty funny. It doesn't actually give you the scroll or anything, but I do find it kind of funny to do that. Jeremaki can also pull them, so you know, that's also pretty hilarious to do sometimes. So I think this may not be a thing that is very useful, but it definitely is really fun to do. Something else you might have known, there actually are some modes in the game that still have infinite flight. One of them, namely Shimdai Red's second mode. I'm pretty sure Satori also has infinite flight, Satori Red Goku. Now, infinite flight, I'm sure you guys know how busted that is, because infinite flight quite literally means it's infinite flight. You can infinitely fly around. And, you know, it is really, really good for traveling, but it also is really annoying for PvP. So I'm sure you guys can imagine that. Now, some of you guys may have not known this because this is kind of a mechanic that a lot of people do not use. I actually use it. I abuse it generally, but there are chi seal moves in the game. By chi seal, I'm not saying chi steal. Someone actually has got that confused before. Chi seal means that you cannot charge your chi like I am right now, and it generally changes from move to move. So like now Eternal third move, it chi seals. Ryan Akuma C-Spec, it chi seals. I'm the type of person that generally plays when I actually, you know, try hard, when I actually try to play the game and things like that, and I'm not just doing challenge movesets. I generally use a few chi steal moves, so I use moves that actually just take away chi from them, and I use a chi seal move, and a lot of people do not expect it, and they lose simply because they have no chi. And I'm sure you guys can imagine, without chi, you can't auto dodge, so I'm gonna combo your booty hole, you know what I'm saying? Now, this actually is a PvP mechanic. I'm sure a lot of people aren't actually aware of this because generally people don't really stun that much anymore. But there is such a thing in the game called double stuns. Now, double stuns actually do exist in the game. It basically, when you stun someone twice, it actually cancels your stun entirely. Your stun will just get straight up removed. So that is a mechanic in this game. I'm not going to, you know, spend that much time talking about it. But that is a mechanic, and you should be wary of that when you're actually trying to make combos. Now, there is such a thing called staggering auto-dodges in this game. Now, when you stagger auto-dodges, it basically makes it so the auto dodge cannot do anything at all. All you need to do with stagger an auto dodge is literally just M1 someone. Now, there's actually just extra things you could add into stagger an auto dodge. Like for Riser or Akuma, you can actually add in a certain weapon, namely, you know, something like Savage Blade, something that gives you iframes that also staggers. And then if you do that, boom, you can literally just completely counter any auto dodge in the entire game. It's really overpowered. I'm sure I'm going to show you it on the screen. And yeah, if you do it, it's pretty nuts. You could pretty much win a lot of fights just by doing that. Another thing you guys might have not noticed is that Sengoku is actually supposed to be the last God Bloodline in the entire game. You guys know how that's went since then. There's been quite a few God Bloodlines since then, but Sengoku was originally supposed to be the last God Bloodline in the game because I feel like they wanted to do more, just more, you know, natural seeming like bloodlines and things like that, or more things just aren't as extreme as God Bloodlines. Now, something you guys might actually know, but Tailed Beasts, the Gen 1 ones, do actually drop from scrolls now. So if I go here and I scroll down to Gen 1, all of these actually drop from scrolls within their respective environments. So as you guys can see, it says 10% boss drop. That's because you actually go to the scroll and it has a 10% chance to drop. Now I'm just gonna boom, I'm just gonna go ahead and flex you guys real quick. Oh yeah, look at all that. They do actually drop from scrolls now, which is a huge help for some people because some people don't actually have the ability to hop because their computer isn't that good. You know, that's a really good change in my opinion. Now, this is something that you guys might actually know, but some skins actually have slightly different abilities than the original. So Forged Rengoku, Forged Sengoku actually have different cooldowns. So some of the abilities that actually have, you know, some of these abilities that skins actually have, the cooldowns are not carried over properly. So they don't actually, the cooldowns don't actually work like they're supposed to. So for Forged Sen generally has lower cooldowns than Forged Rengoku because Forged Sengoku, they didn't transfer the nerfs over to the actual actual skin. Now this is shown for things like Naramaki, things like that. They just have very, very slight differences, so some skins aren't actually always completely equal to their non-skin counterpart. Now this isn't really something about Shindo Life, but did you guys know that a car accident percentage rate is about 1 in 366? So you have a chance of being in a car accident for every 1,000 miles that you drive. You have a 1 out of 366 chance. So that means that you are more likely to get into a car accident over the course of your life than to literally spin a bloodline at Shindo Life. Isn't that kind of crazy? Also, here's another really cool, fun thing that you guys might actually use for PvP. Breakaways do not actually work for pull moves. So pull moves do not actually work for, like, when you use a pull move or you use something that actually place locks them or use something that command grabs them, breakaways will not actually make, like, they can't break away from it. So if they make the mistake of using the breakaway while you're actually using the place lock ability, they're basically done for after that. Also, here's a little blast to the past. Did you guys know that some bloodlines that were put into element slots, that used to not exist in the game at all? There used to be no elemental bloodlines. Well, there was elemental bloodlines, but you weren't able to equip them into element slots. So, it's a really good change that they changed that, because it made some bloodlines actually usable. But yeah, that used to not be a thing. Also, here's another thing you might not know. Second life modes sometimes do not work in the other game modes. So things like Cobra, things like Akuma Eternal Hand, those second life modes do not actually work in things like competitive or Arena X, because you do not actually die in those game modes. You hit 50 life and then your character resets. I don't know if you guys have noticed that by now, but generally you can die while still having health in those game modes, because it's not a true zero death. Because I feel like the reincarnation usually triggers when you go down. So when you go down, you actually come back to life after that. But when it comes to those, like in those game modes, you don't actually ever die. You just poof. Also, here's another fun fact. You know that some moves actually stack based on how many people are there. So things like Akuma C-Spec, things like Otisabru C-Spec, there's a few more. I've done a video over it before. They actually could one-shot if you have a bunch of people. So Akuma C-Spec, if you have like 5 people together, it will immediately one-shot them, which is kind of troll and is pretty fun to do. Otisabru C-Spec does actually the exact same thing. Also, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but you can actually stack auto dodges. Now, you cannot stack it, as you guys can see, with Bankai or Riser, but things like Satori auto dodge, you could stack with normal auto dodges. So all you need to do is pop Satori auto dodge, and before that move actually ends, because the cooldown doesn't trigger until the move is over, before that ability ends, you could literally pop another auto dodge, and then the auto dodge just keeps going. So you have like an 8-second auto dodge, which is obviously pretty insane, all things considered. Also, companions actually do not level up from normal quests. The only quests you can level up companions from are green scroll quests, so you do not level up from boss missions, which is the main reason why people generally do not level up companions that high. Also, Worm Sage mode actually has the same stacking effect as Toad Cursed mode. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, when you actually get hit in Toad Cursed mode, your stats go up. Now, for some reason, they actually copied this over to the Worm Sage mode, and Worm Sage by itself is already pretty good, but this makes Worm Sage like actually, usable for PvP beyond team fights. It's actually a really insane mode, all things considered. Also, here's a fun little glitch for you guys. This is actually shown to me by Chimkin. He's actually someone on my Discord server. The clone moves actually stack. So what I mean by this is if you clone barrage someone in Menza Chain, so all you need to do is Menza Chain, clone barrage, and then Emerald Second, they will literally instantly die, because for some reason the clone barrage triggers Emerald Second over and over and over again. And this also works for Kaijin, but for some reason this only works in RPG. It doesn't work in any other game mode. Also, do you guys remember when the AOE nerf actually happened in this game? They made all of the AOEs in this game super tiny. Rab Tailed Spirit actually has unnerfed AOE. So the AOE of Rab Tailed Spirit is literally pre-nerf AOE. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys grind for spins, right? Everyone here probably has at some point grinded for spins. The best way to grind for spins is to actually turn on an auto clicker, go into free rewards, and AFK to get spins. That is generally how I used to get like 1,000 or more spins every single time a new update came out. And it worked actually extremely well. It has been nerfed since then, so just keep that in mind. Now, this is something that some people know, some people don't know. The only rank you actually need to hit, this is the only rank that I would deem required, is S rank. After you hit S rank, you literally have no need to rank up unless you want spins. That is generally the only reason why you would ever rank up from that point, because S rank, you get max stats and you get mentors. You don't really need to rank up past that. There's no reason besides spins. Also, did you know that some auto tracking moves are actually based off of your cursor and not actually auto tracking? So if you put your cursor on something, the move will actually auto track to your cursor. So if your cursor was on someone, then it will auto track to them, but it's actually cursor based. But there are some moves in the game that are auto track based, like Naramaki C-Spec, for example. example, you could not be aiming towards someone whatsoever and it'd still hit them. By the way, guys, what is your favorite like secret thing in the game? What do you think you have found that has been secret, and do you think that is actually very cool? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Also, last but not least, there are secret areas within the game. I'm talking about like Orochimaru's hideout. There's some weird area in dunes with like a little circle on the ground. There's some secret areas in the game that generally people don't really visit because there's not really a point. I mean, Orochimaru's hideout, you know, it has some things that actually spawn in it, but in general, people don't really go to these locations because even though they're secret, there's not really much to do in them. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like, subscribe, guys. Bye-bye.